Heather, has your school ever had a snow day? Does it ever snow that much?
So we've had a few in Sitka, but Mount Edgecombe does not have snow days because our students live on campus. They
Right.
can just walk down. We've had delay start, so if it gives times for teachers to get there, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here we are live now. Sitka Jazz Week, one of our Zoom calls to promote the week. My name is Christian Fabian. I guess you could call me the director. I was walking down the street the other day, and it's more like a vision I had in my mind when I was creating Sitka Jazz Week with all these amazing musicians and mentors and teachers and participants. Sitka Jazz Week is a performance-oriented workshop. We are in our fourth year, 2026. We started in 2023. And we are performing from day number one. We also have scheduled classes. We have private lessons. We have master classes. We have evening performances. But in terms of the participants, which is always stressed, it's an all ages workshop. It's really for everyone who would like to perform more. That's what this is really all about. And what we usually recommend is for people who did not perform that much yet in their development, that they focus on one or two or three songs, bring these songs and start performing them from day number one. We have rhythm sections throughout town in Sitka. They can take this, let's say someone brings one song, they can take this one song to one rhythm section and then bring it to another rhythm section, another location. Maybe before they go into town, we also have a rhythm section in the location where we teach every morning. It's called Stevenson Hall. They can play it there. So by the end of day number one, they could have performed that 3 times. And we encourage really to just jump in there, make as many mistakes as you can. And then throughout the week, we help you, to make this one song better. And then some people have performed a lot more and they bring 3 songs. Some people, they just want to perform more. They just say, oh, what do you want to play? Can you play this song? And then we do that. Anything is possible for wherever someone is in their development as a musician. But what we really want to do is perform as much as we can. So we have a couple of people here. Today is a Zoom call specifically for people who play in the rhythm section and also vocalists. So I want to introduce you to one of the great teachers and mentors we have at Sitka Jazz Week, and one of our backbones. I mentioned that on other Zoom calls. We are collaborating with the Mount Edgecombe High School. We are collaborating with their music program. And the lady who runs this program is doing an amazing job, an amazing performer, doing it most of her life really, is Heather Gluth. And she is, in terms of the Sitka Jazz Week, she's bringing people from her program over to Sitka Jazz Week. Her name is Heather Gluth. And Heather, I want to open it up for you. You're there since day number one, and you've been part of Sitka Jazz Week. And I was really in the beginning, really reaching out to you to, to see if you were interested in doing that. And we kind of grown together through the program. And I just want to open up the floor and see what is your experience with Sitka Jazz Week and how have your students benefited from the idea of performing as much as possible in throughout the Sitka Jazz Week.
Great. Just want to check. I was working with my microphone. I'm on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Perfect. Well, good morning. It's morning in Alaska where we are in Sitka. But I just wanted to say hello, and I've been excited to work with Sitka Jazz Week all these 4 years. Christian said he had a vision, and I'm going to tell you, when Sitka Jazz Week started, that's what it was like. Christian said, hey, I have this idea, this vision, and I thought, this is never going to work. This is not going to work for my students. This is not going to work for me. I don't even, and when you start something new, something that's really kind of different, that's often what goes through your mind. Christian said I teach for Mount Edgecombe High School, and when I started, I was really building a program. A lot of students didn't play instruments. Definitely there weren't any kind of strong singing programs, and even when we started this program, I told Christian, I don't know if my students could handle this. Like, they are really, really beginners. This just, I don't know. But Christian said, no, trust me. I think we can do this. And he had been at a music festival and saw my students perform. And he said, we have to give them an opportunity to make this happen for them, to make music real for them. Because, when you run a high school program, you have a few opportunities to perform. And the performance, some people are so scared about it, it could go really bad one time. And so if I have 2 concerts a year, plus maybe Music Fest, it doesn't give a lot of time to recover if something goes bad. And students, when you're teenagers, that was terrible, I quit. So I said, okay, we'll figure it out. I'll get the students who I know who are kind of independent, maybe a few beginners, and we'll just go from there. And so I brought a few students, and it truly is very challenging to say, here we are today, you're going to perform. This is the music that you brought. This is what we're going to do. There are people around town that will help you. So we walked around together in a group, and I was their kind of mama bearing, saying,
Yeah, you were.
hey, yeah, no, this, and I was introducing them to the band, teaching them how to work with the band, those kind of things. And it was really a powerful experience. A lot of students after day 1 were like, oh, phew, I got that over with. And then I had to tell them, we're going to do it again. Right. And they were like, whoa, we're going to do it again. And so then they could try again, make some changes, shifts. And what we saw was the confidence level rise. Well, then take it into the school year, because we do this at the beginning of the school year. They were super motivated to learn what they didn't already know. So that was a huge thing for me and for the students that we've done. So it's been really powerful. I've had a lot of singers come through. And at my school, I teach band, choir, and guitar. And but one of the things I really love to do is to coach vocalists. And so this opportunity is a place where I'm going to come into your space and really talk to you about connecting to the music, right? So you're going to bring, like Christian said, 1, 2, or 3 pieces with you. Sometimes the pieces don't quite work out for the band, or not really for the band, but like they just don't connect on the level that you're imagining they would. So having a backup or something that's maybe not as hard or difficult, technically speaking, where you can really have fun with it is also a really great choice to have. So something that's really challenging you, something that you just know, and something that maybe you have questions on would be kind of a really good place to start on bringing the pieces. So one that you could, like, on day 1, all the lyrics, you feel pretty comfortable. You think you've got the key down. If you don't, Matt and myself were really good at taking a look at the music. Matt's a little bit better than I am, because sometimes I'll want to go just a hair lower just to make sure, and he'll say, no, it really
So you're
is.
talking about Matt King, who is here. He's the piano player for Sitka Jazz Week, East Coast guy. Anyway, just say hi quick. Go ahead, Heather. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. Matt King is absolutely an industry standard, top of the line. He can hear things that most people can't. And so he comes into my vocal workshop a little bit and just helps us get singers adjusted. Let's just put it that way. Like, really helps us think about what the band's going to do, really talk through the process. I've really appreciated that collaboration. And he hears things just differently when a lot of, accompanists, piano players, jazz people are working with vocalists, they might be like, okay, well, you set yourself up for this, just we'll go with it. But, Matt's really caring to take time and say, wait, maybe should be a little bit different. What if we did this, and help us think through vocally, so that when you're working with the band, it's easy for both groups. It's easy for the singer. It's easy for the rhythm section to really know what we're looking at. And it's really a collaborative process. So, but just keeping that in mind, that when you're coming to this workshop, You want to have something that you feel is going to be successful, but also another place to challenge. The things that I focus on the vocal side of the workshop, we do a lot of real specific jazz sort of warm-ups, some scat, those kind of things, opening up the area, thinking these are some scales, rudiments, things that will help you with the singing that you are going to do. But I also really want you to connect with the music. So I'm going to take some time where we are thinking about what we're singing. How is it coming across? Maybe you picked a very quick jazz piece and it's not connecting on an emotional level. We're going to talk about the way that it's going to come across. Or is it a fun bebop that's really vocally challenged that you want to bring in, show your range, or those kind of things. We focus a lot on the group singing, on scat. I'm going to get you out into the community, improvising, doing some things, because if you're not improvising with jazz, what are you even doing? So know that we're going to stretch those boundaries, where we have things that we can work on and we can grow on, and then we come back together. So after the performances, we come back together and talk about what went well, what didn't go well, what will we like to try differently the next day, and then we have workshop in the morning after our master classes where we go through it again. I'll accompany and we'll walk through some of those things. That we happen together, and then the cohort, the vocal cohort sings together. So I will publish. I haven't done it in this past, but if you sign up for the program, I will publish about. We've done about 3 really strong options, but I'm going to add a couple more and have about 5 that we can vocally sing together, and give the heads up to the rhythm section so that we know that the cohort is going to do some scatting with these songs, so that it's not just random and that you are prepared with the melody lines and the things that you have going on. So the summertime is a great time to prepare, to think about what you're going to do before you come in August. But we're really excited to have you. We're really excited to see you grow and develop, because that is.
Oh, she dropped out. Well, I just
She
want to
got cut
give it.
off.
I don't think
Yeah.
she might.
Did I? Oh, she's coming back. Brooklyn, quick before Heather comes back. You are one of her students. So when you started first, you were a student at Mount Edgecamp, and now you're in college, and you have come back. That's Heather, and you have come back you're back there every year. So, Heather, sorry.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
I just gave it up to Brooklyn quick because she's
Cool.
one of your students. She
Great.
was there every year you started. That was beautiful, Heather. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
And,
I was at the end anyways.
Yeah, no, yeah. I want to give it up to Heather, to Brooklyn quick, because you were a student at Mount Edgecamp, and now you're in college, and you've been there every year, right? So you haven't missed a year yet. So what is it for you which really draws you to Jazz Week? What is your experience? How has it helped you? And I guess you're in love with it too, because you're back every year. So I would be nice for people to hear what draws you to it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the community of people who show up and want to do music together. But I also think it's like how our confidence rises after like the first day. And like being able to be with a live band instead of just like karaoke version. But also just learning how to improvise in different ways that you wouldn't think of if you were just by yourself. I also think it's because of the teachers. They are very, very helpful in a way that you wouldn't think like people would be helpful. Yeah, and I would encourage people to go so that they could get a stronger skill mindset, and also just have more confidence in what they're doing musically, and also just meeting new friends and getting a renewal of love for music. And it's really fun and challenging and unforgettable. So that's
Oh,
just
great.
some of the things that I had.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, since we're at it, before I give it up to Matt too, we have also Alex Vane from Sitka, piano player, and Leah. Leah, you were with us 2 years ago. Before I give it to Alex, and then Matt, Leah, you want to say also quickly, since Brooklyn talked about her experience, you were there, pretty excited. But I noticed about you, Leah, I was in Sitka early on in that summer, and you were reaching out to me, and it's like, wow, you know. And then we met. And we talked briefly over, and you were fired up. As a matter of fact, you and Alex started working on some duo stuff too. So anyway, I just, Leah, want to give it up to you and share with us what your experience was when you were there.
Okay, hi. I want to join in on the challenging part of the workshop. I think it is incredibly challenging as a vocalist to work with instrumentalists, and the opportunity to work with a lot of them is both terrifying but also an amazing opportunity. And I think that is it's not something you get all the time. It's not, you know, if I were to say what would I like for my birthday, I would like a jazz trio so that I could practice all the time. So I guess where my experience differs from, say, the Brooks experience is that I don't get that opportunity very often after the fact. So this workshop is largely the opportunity I have to work on and improve my skill set, which, as someone who's really self-taught, needs a lot of work.
Yeah, great. Alex Bain.
Yeah, that's right.
I know you for a long time. Yeah, thank you, Leah. That was great. That was
We go way back. Yeah, thank you, Leah.
You will go way back. Yeah. Leah, one thing I brought up a few times. I don't know why I'm on Instagram lately. I guess I probably was a Bruce Lee fan in the past, but one of the great things, I like his little wisdoms he has. They're always short. He said, the thing about fear, he always said, people always want a comfortable life, but it's actually in the discomfort where you really grow. And he said, fear disappears when you look fear straight in fear's eyes, So that, I think it's kind of what happens at Jazz Week a little bit, because you're so terrified, and then you do it like, that wasn't that bad. Let me do it over again, So that's at least my experience. But Alex, yeah, you've been. I think this was your last year was your third time participating.
That's right.
You were there from year 1 too. Actually, matter of fact, you've been there from the beginning. So thanks for your support and thanks for coming. And I know you have to leave in a few minutes too. So I figure
actually, I was able to clear that out, so I'm able to stick around for a bit longer.
Oh, okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
So you want to share experience? What is it you like about Jazz Weekend?
Of course. Yeah. Well, I'll start where some of the first live performances I've ever done were with Christian at venues with Hank Moore. And through that and all of the kind of live performances that have followed, I've been able to use that as both learning and teaching moments for my participation in Jazz Week. And I know that we're particularly talking about vocals in this instance. I think it's been very useful to try to learn how to put all of these things in layman's terms for a lot of the younger participants who aren't currently deep into jazz band in school, who just kind of want to explore and get in and see how it resonates with them. And though I am a pianist, I am also a vocalist in the works. And I think that the having kind of both skills are incredibly important in terms of having a way of expressing a melody in an abstract way that's not your voice, but also in your voice. I think an incredible exercise is like singing scales as you play them on the piano, or singing a scat solo as you play it. I think that it can really help develop your your vocal skills further. And I hope that if I participate again, that I can be a part of that learning process.
Would you think Sitka Jazz Week really inspired you to branch out a little more and try different things?
Certainly. I think, well, last time I went, I did sit in for some of the vocal sessions, which was definitely outside of my comfort zone. And I'm really glad that I did. And I think another great thing about Sitka Jazz Week is that even if you come into it as like a sax player or a bassist or a pianist, you can actually, sit in with the other lessons if you really want to, and explore those options in a very like freeing and liberating way. And especially with how welcoming all of the teachers and participants are, it makes it, I think, again, a unique opportunity.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, Alex. It's great to have you here. Matt King.
Where?
Wow.
Oh, present.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I mean, Matt and I quickly, I met Matt when I moved to New York, and it was early 2000s, and I was really intimidated by New York City. I had this folder, I still have it. All the songs I wanted to learn when I moved to New York, everyone said, you got to know 1,000 songs. And I have 1,000 songs in my folder, that's for sure, but I cannot tell you that I know them all, But I did this wedding gig. It was a fellow bass player, Ras Bonagura, who called me out of the blue and said, hey, I have this wedding reception out on the pier here in Manhattan. Do you want to come? And I was like, when I moved to New York, I was so nervous of traffic. I showed up 3-4 hours early for every gig because I was so afraid to be late for a gig. I knew if
Also,
I would
you're
be
German.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, Matt was on this cocktail hour gig, and I was playing, and Matt was like, yeah, man, that's great. Yeah. He was like, wow, he likes what I'm doing. Wow, and I was just like, wow, and I still remember that from the very first time we played, but we have then on and off played more and more. And then Matt ended up on a couple of my CDs, and we have some plans. And surprise, surprise, he is also playing keyboard on a CD, which will be released during Sitka Jazz Week 2026 with some of the people who teach there. So it's going to
featuring a certain vocalist that we know.
Yeah. So anyway, Matt, here we go. It's so much about our history. I'm glad you're also there from year number one. Cliff Guyton was on a call last week, and you're always there. You're a supporter, and you're really, state of the art keyboard player. Songs. You know how to work with vocalists, and you're a big part of working with Heather and all the vocalists around town, and also instrumentalists. So anyway, here we go, Matt King.
Hello. Congratulate me. This is only my second time using my new iPad. So here I am. And I don't do Zoom meetings very much. I've realized this is not a good angle. I need a neck tuck. But now I know.
All you need is a bow tie.
I do, yeah, something, a scarf, yeah. So Brooklyn's laughing. So good to see everyone. Christian, I hadn't seen you since Ketchikan, I guess in September. Not in person.
Oh, that's right. Not in person.
And Heather, of course, and Alex. Leah, I'm not sure I had done a workshop with Leah, but I could be wrong. In Brooklyn, I recall.
Oh, Leah, she was there 2 years ago, but she worked a lot with Alex.
Okay. Sorry.
I think, yeah.
We were working on Mashkinada. That was probably the thing you might
right.
remember.
Okay, right.
Hammering that.
Yeah.
Nice to see you back. Was Sue Mascaleras on the chat for a minute?
Yeah, she was there for a minute. Yeah, she left.
Yeah. She's great. We never met in person, but she's a great pianist and composer and vocalist herself. I was very happy to. I think the first year you asked me to do the Sitka Jazz workshop, Christian, I couldn't do it, and for whatever reason, scheduling.
No. Sitka Jazz Week. So there was a year it didn't happen, which was 2022. I also didn't get the location. I invited actually Alex Serio. I have to say for everyone, we are hosted by the Sitka Music Festival. We are in a beautiful building called Stevenson Hall, which underwent just in the beginning of COVID, finished a $5 million renovation. It's a state-of-the-art music building. We have a big teaching room. If you go to Sitka Jazz Week on Facebook, you will see a lot of pictures. In our main teaching room upstairs, they have rooms where all the musicians and teachers stay. It's really, and then we have a community kitchen. And I should actually, for the potential listener should say that it's $750 for the week, includes breakfast and lunch. And there's a lot of hanging out going on. I just want to point that out. Besides all the other stuff we're talking about, we are really becoming a family with Sitka Jazz Week, because we're eating together, we're going to the gigs together, we're coming back, we're hanging out, people are always talking. And it's also, there's a great story I mentioned on every Zoom call. I went to IAG, a jazz convention years ago with Horace Silver and Randy Brecker. Randy Brecker is one of the renowned trumpet players, Horace Silver. We know many of his songs in the real books. Anyway, Randy Brecker was on a panel with Horace Silver, and Randy was like, well, people talk a lot about these days about social networking and all of these things. Back in the day, we just called it hanging out. So there's a lot of hanging out going on, and there's another element of learning which is not a lot talked about, which is osmosis. So we are teaching a lot, especially during COVID, spending a lot of time on the screen, but there's also an energy exchange happening when we are hanging out with musicians, and stories and other things. It's very important to have that personal connection as well, becoming friends with a musician. Alex just pointed it out. You know I gave you some bass lessons, everything. So there's more going on than just giving out information and doing it. So that's another thing I just want to point out, since we're talking about it, about Jazz Week. We're hanging out in this amazing building where we do all these things together. We have dinner together. I think last year, the first time on a Monday night, we had this big, we got the tables out and we had some leftovers. And I don't know if Celia started doing her famous meatballs, but we were just having a dinner on a Monday night, which was great, you know. So there's more going on than just, you know, doing your classes and going performing. Anyway, go ahead, Matt. Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's a scene.
So 2020 got canceled, just to come back to that. And then you were there in 2023 with us the first time. Yeah.
Right. So I've done it 2 years now.
Yeah, Sitka Jazz Week, I think you did
3
years. 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just a great environment. I'll say to someone who might be, you know, logged in, or someone's going to watch this stream later, this video later. If nothing else, the setting is great. I mean, it's beautiful. If you've never been to Sitka, never been to Alaska, this is a perfect place to go. The town is small. You can walk from our music complex, our teaching complex, into town and make a loop and see the whole town in like 15 minutes. It's bite-sized. It's great. And of course, the natural beauty is there. You're on the ocean. There's the forest. There's trails. But of course, the real action for the workshoppers is happening in our music compound, which, as Christian just stated, was recently renovated. It's a beautiful. I mean, I think it competes with anything in the world in terms of just being new and clean and having great resources. As a pianist, it has a beautiful grand piano down in the main teaching room. I know Alex is on that every minute he can be, taking advantage of that. And there's other keyboards throughout the building, digital keyboards. And the kitchen hang is great. The food has been great. It's just a great learning environment. And as Heather and Christian have pointed out, it's a safe place. It's a non-pressure environment to maybe start learning about jazz for the first time, if you're really a newbie, or to hone your skills and take it up to the next level if you've already been involved with it for a while. And I've seen, for instance, Alex progress a lot in the last couple of years, and now he's the kind of guy who can start taking my gigs, you know. So gotta be careful. But so it's just again, reiterating a point that Christian always makes. A lot of these workshops are focused on like one performance at the end. You know, you get together for a week or whatever it is, and you practice and you practice and you practice and you rehearse, and you have this one shot, you know, this 5-10 minute slot to like do your thing. And if it goes well, great. And if it doesn't, that leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, you know, and it can be disconcerting. It can dissuade you from moving forward and trying again. Whereas at this workshop, you're playing every day or you're singing every day. If you want to, and multiple times a day, the opportunities are there. Take advantage of them. It's not all focused on a performance. So that's a really big plus for anyone participating in this. And I like the fact that it's, excuse me, intergenerational. You have young people that are still in school junior high school or high school at least, right? Do we have any junior high kids? Have we had? No.
I don't
No.
think so. I had a request. That seems to be two parents over the 3 years, 4 years reached out to me where they say there's like 9 or 10 years young and they're totally into music, and said, bring them by, I mean, come and hang out, but I mean, haven't showed up yet, but I had a few requests.
Yeah, so the door's kind of open there, but then all the way up to seniors. I'm getting there myself. I'm 61. So yeah, it's nice to have the range of not only talent and experience, but also age and background. Heather's great coaching her kids. They're very lucky to have her, and you can work with her if you're a vocalist, if you sign up for the week at the end of August this year. And I'm just happy to be on board, and together with a great bass player like Christian. That gig that we first met, as you mentioned, was a private event. It was a wedding, and we were like a little jazz duo, maybe with a sax player. I forget. It might have been a trio playing for the
You remember that gig?
Yeah. It was at the Lighthouse on Chelsea Piers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Christian did the cocktail hour with me, and he split, and I had to go into another room and play with the band and do all the dance music and stuff. And but I took his card, and he introduced himself. He said where he was from and what his background was. I took his card. I said, "Oh, great bass player." You can never know too many great bass players in New York because they're always busy. So and then we've been doing other gigs ever since then, but I was very happy to be invited for this workshop. Again, the beautiful setting, the chance to work with talented people, and hopefully be of some use and share my experience and knowledge with people that could benefit from that. And and not to mention the other great players that come up: Cleve, Guyton, the sax player, the great Bernard Purdy, who's the world's most recorded drummer, and John Danberg, who's been coming down from Anchorage, a great vibraphonist and drummer and composer. It's expanding, and we're drawing new people in, and we're bringing new voices in, figuratively speaking and metaphorically speaking, new voices in. And I'm happy that it's going on, and I encourage everyone to take a look at the website, take a look at some of these videos. If you're a newbie, you don't know about it, come check us out and come join the action this summer. Thanks,
man. What I usually always say, with all ages, people get sometimes really hung up on their age or the whole concept. I'm looking for the energy of learning. I'm really looking for someone, what I'm recognizing is the desire to know more and really get something. I know through myself can be a frustration. It can be in any age, but the more someone wants to learn, the more I think Sitka Jazz Week is for them, because the true learning. Oh, someone left us?
Alex had to leave.
Oh, Alex had to leave. Okay. The more you want to learn, you forget who you are. You forget if you're hungry. You forget your age. You forget, you have to forget that you go to the bathroom and all of this. You really immerse yourself. You have this. I know this, and I learned that from. We just had Ron Carter drop by Heather's class 2 days ago. That generation, Mike Longo, and I don't know what your experience is, Matt, but that generation. Ron, after a gig, he goes and practices if something doesn't go right. Their mind is so on the music and so focused, so that really inspires me. And I think the more someone wants to learn, and that you can have the desire in any part of your life, the reason, I started singing too, like Alex, 2.5 years in now, and I'm pushing myself to invite myself to places. Can I do my solo thing? And I sing, and no one hires me, a solo bass player, to sing, but so I have to look for my own. I do other gigs, great, but I have to look for my own gigs, so to speak, and I force myself to do it, and it just feels great afterwards. I'm like, I learned something, I got better, so the whole idea of that all ages thing, I just want to point that out, has to do with that. Then the other thing is what Heather was saying earlier, you just take this one song. Let's say you take this one song and get that really under your belt. And this one song becomes kind of your measuring stick if you want to learn repertoire, right? So I always thought, you know, I have this one song, the very first song I learned, I Should Care, you know, so that became my measuring stick. I'm up to over 10 songs now, singing and playing my bass, you know, but I'm like, every song I'm learning has to be on that confidence level of where I perform I Should Care, you know. So this one song will give you a measuring stick to take it on when you walk away from Sitka Jazz Week, you know. You had this one or a couple of songs like, man, if I learn a new song, it has to be at least on that level or better to perform it, you know. So that's what's really is all about. That's why I always stress the all ages thing, you know, because, you know, it's hard because we are so conditioned. I mentioned that, I don't want to get too much into it, but we have like 10 grade charts, 10, 11 charts, grade 12, whatever, you know. It's like, when I was teaching at certain camps, I always brought a big band chart, which I think the high school kids could learn, you know. So it's really, you know, when it comes to learning and really making progress, I think, you know, you learn faster, not trying to put yourself into some kind of frame, you know. That's my experience, and I hopefully able to get that across a little bit through Jazz Week.
Yeah, I encourage anyone who signs up, you know, be they a vocalist or an instrumentalist, or maybe they're doing both, you know, come up with a song that you feel pretty comfortable with. So like your song, I Should Care. You're comfortable singing that and playing the bass at the same time. You know, something that's like you know, a security blanket for you, a security blanket song that you feel familiar with, and that's like a home base for you. And then bring in something that's totally new. Think of something totally new. Oh, I'd like to learn this song. I heard so-and-so sing this or play that. I'd love to learn that, but it seems so challenging. I don't know, you know, and that, so you have like a new song, an old song and a new song, and you're coming in, so you can, and both those things will feed each other. And a lot of students I've found, just, you know, teaching personally here at home, private piano students, they get daunted when they start to see, especially when I start talking about theory, you know, chords, different types of chords, different types of scales, the relationship of one chord to the other, and this and that. Someone get a little daunted. It's like, wow, it's just so much. And then, well, I learned that, but now you want me to do this, and it's like, to me, the analogy is music, and you can say this about all the arts, be it visual arts, or if you're into theater, or if you're into dance. It's like when you first get started, you're on the edge of an ocean, right? And your first piano lesson or vocal lesson or horn lesson or the first painting, it's like getting your toes in the water, right? And you get wet, and then, you know, you're comfortable with that. And then you get up to your ankles, you're like, all right. And you get up to your knees, and you go, and then at some point it's up to your, and then at some point you have to start swimming. And the thing about the arts is, you know, music being one of them, there's no shore. Like the water just gets wider and deeper. There's no, I mean, it literally, there's people like Ron Carter, like he goes home and practices after a gig. Really? He's the most recorded bass player in history, but there's still stuff to learn. There's still stuff to do. It's amazing. Pablo Casals, the great cellist, classical cellist, he was like 90 something, you know, and he was the most popular classical cellist in the world. And someone in the press once asked him, you know, he said, oh, I still practice, you know, 2 or 3 hours a day. And they're like, why? And he goes, well, because I feel like I'm making progress. So, I mean, you know, it's just, you can go as deep as far as you want. And if you get tired, there's always some little island you can like rest on, a piece of, you know, floating dory, you know, you can hang on for a while, and then you can swim some more, you know. But the thing is, it gets more challenging, but it also gets more fun, and it gets more interesting the deeper you go into any art. As soon as you plateau, or as soon as you just live on that island, you know, or that beach that you found, you're going to stagnate. But there's always something else to do. That's the exciting part about music, jazz, classical music, like I said, all the other arts I mentioned. It's just an ongoing thing. It's a life experience. It's about the journey. And you do have destinations on the way, but it's really about just the journey, progressing and learning and finding new things. Yeah,
thank you, Matt. That's great. Mike Longo, which you had met on one of my birthday parties, he said to me always, the longer I play, the more I know what I don't know. And he played all over the world with Dizzy Gillespie. Right. I find it inspiring. I mean, these are great. Thanks for sharing. I mean, these are the people like, wow, you know, so there's always more to learn, you know. And Heather, I want to give it back to you. You want to add anything to it? I mean, I have to say, for the record, you have been hired by Mount Edgecombe High School, and you built an amazing music program, getting all the students involved. I mean, the classes you're doing, I mean, you were last year close to a full big band. I mean, I know there was only maybe a couple of brass instruments missing, but I mean, and on top of that, you're working with some other scheduling challenges as well, because the way the high school is structured is a little different. But still, I mean, hats off. I mean, you have done an amazing job building up that program, and I mean, that's, it's amazing, and some amazing student. I mean, Brooklyn and Ava and Dimitri, and I mean, some of your students over the years have to get to know a little better, and it's just a tremendous amount of talent you have over at that school. So it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
You're your 4th year or 5th year there yet now?
So this is actually my 6th year.
Oh, 6th year. Yeah.
Yep. And thank you for those compliments. It is a little bit of a hard journey. As you know, education right now is just challenging for a lot of ways, especially in Alaska. We have many funding challenges, but I don't really care about that. I have people like you, and I will say Sitka Jazz Week really has helped me as an educator keep on going, because, and especially this last year, I think it's the kind of people that we've brought together, people who not only are caring about the students that come in, but we're caring about each other. So some of the other professionals who've spoken into my life through this experience, some of the ways that I've got to help not just my students, but the other students that come to Sitka Jazz Week, really turn something over in my heart to tell me that this is a really valuable thing, that teaching is important, passing down the knowledge that we have in a real and tangible way to our students, whether they are the same age as us. Matt, I've learned so much from just sitting in the same room with Matt, and just being invited to the table, but also what we're giving to other people. Even Talia, who was a wonderful addition last year as a student, just the way that we connected and bonded and were able to transfer information back and forth, sitting in the same room with Anne, learning with her, just teaching with her. Oh my goodness. So some of those fabulous experience, I cannot say enough with the team that you bring together, Christian.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it has motivated me to just dig my feet down deep in what I'm doing every day to give music to the next generation. I mean, and the students that I have come from all over Alaska, and I need them and I want them to experience the positive impact that it can make in their life so that they can give it to somebody else. So it has been a challenge, but the future is bright. The future is bright for music in the next generation, and music in Alaska and music in Sitka and really all of the places. So it has been a journey for sure. And I will say that whoever comes and whoever commits, I will give my best to. And so that's how I just live, with an open hand and an open heart. But I will say that Sitka Jazz Week has been a huge piece of my motivation to become better for others. And I mean, I'm not like a self-sacrificing teacher. I have a life. I have things that I do. But at the same time, it is really important for me to be able to connect students with not only what I know, but what others know that can help them. And so learning how to network or just sit around the table and communicate those things with each other has been really important for me to look outside and say, okay, I'm not the end game, but who can I bring to my students? How can I get them to open up their eyes to see something different? Because last year really just turned something for me through Sitka Jazz Week. So I'm not quite sure really even on processing, I'm still processing what that was, but I can tell you, if you decide to come and do this journey with us, it will change so many things in your life, and you won't even know what it is until you've processed a little while. But 100%. I'm on board. The students are on board. The people that we meet through this experience have been, it's just been wild. I don't know how to explain it. It's just been wild. And even me as an artist, I never really saw well, I do see myself as an artist. I have for a long time, but I've spent so much time teaching and really, being the supporting background. But for the team of professionals to say, look, you are valued and you are valuable and you mean something to others, but you also have a voice, has been really exceptional. So can't say enough. Yes. And I love what I do at Mount Edgecombe, but I'm very grateful to be able to be a part of it. So, yep. I can't recommend it enough. I hope people will join us. And I promise, Matt, in August, it won't be snowing.
Yeah.
I promise.
Hey, Heather, hey, you should try it. Why don't you make a CD? You should make a CD. What do you think?
I'll think about it.
Think about it.
What's a CD?
Right? Oh, who said that? I was saying,
Matt.
I was talking about a CD with my students, and they're like, a CD? Gluth, what? I said, remember, I was born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much.
How about let's lay down some tracks sometime?
Yeah. Thank you.
An 8-track. Speaking as someone who's probably older than you are.
That's what I had in my bedroom as a kid. As my older brothers.
Me too.
We had an 8-track.
How fun.
What a terrible technology.
Yeah,
I'm glad those are gone.
I remember a moment, Heather, at the last Sitka Jazz Week. We talked about. I think I was doing a little presentation. I don't know if you remember that moment, but I was talking about starting performing from day number 1 and performing as much as you can. I just remember you at some point, it really works. You were, I don't know, you remember that moment? Yeah, you were just like, it really works. It came like from the bottom of your heart, so, and we do say that this week is transformative in any way. And the great thing about anything which hits you, sometimes the good thing is you cannot really express in words what it is. And I think, to me, personally, it's what happens, they call it osmosis. There's an energy generated by all these different people together, and it just affects you. And, one great trumpet player on the Lionel Big Band, when COVID came about in the very beginning, I said, do you do any Zoom meetings? He said, no. John Mark McGowan, I don't know if you know him, Matt, is a great trumpet player.
I don't think so.
He played with Illinois Cat and that kind of generation. And I said, why did you like Zoom? And it's like, you only engage 2 senses. That's all he said, And I didn't really know what the third sense, it really made me think. It's like, well, there's the sound and the visual. And I couldn't really figure out what the third sense is. He was saying, he was pointing out which was missing in Zoom, but
No.
it compares. Oh,
I do miss that.
You're cooking meatballs, but it compelled me to think about that something is missing in that. And I know there's a lot going on online and everything, but it's coming back to, it propelled me to think about, the osmosis aspect. There's something happening when we are together as human beings. And there's something, Bernard was pointing that out, how he enjoys everyone being together in the room and in the kitchen and the exchange of, love in a higher sense where it's support, and I just, this morning when I woke up, I've been thinking about, it came to my mind, what is our purpose? And Heather, you pointed that out. It's like really, of course I just came back from the Grammys in January. I was in LA and do some networking and everything, and good, great. But what is it really we're doing? We really, just this morning kind of hit me. It's like we want to have a purposeful life, and it can be different things to different people. But I think a purposeful life is where we really passing on. And one of my great teachers, I just mentioned her on the Facebook post. Her name was Aurora. I was with her. She actually, we read the Bible a lot, and how to read the Bible between the lines. What is the message there? Also, other than just the words and things like that. But it's she said, you play the same in front of one person. You want to play the same than in front of thousands of people, because you don't know who you reach with your music. That you only have to reach one to really make a difference, and that really, because we are so, we are so focused on the big thing, and like everything has to be glamorous, and no, it doesn't really, and I noticed that a lot of times, especially with Jazz Week, and sometimes, it's going great. Thank you so much. Thank you, God, but every now and then, you don't get a lot of feedback. And then there's like this one phone call or this one comment someone makes, which shows me I'm on the right path, So I'm just sharing that because there's this one person you're reaching, or this one person which it's really getting something, and you see this one person grow, which can mean the world to us, So actually, I just, it's like, anyway, this morning I thought about it. It's like really making a difference. I know we're always looking for the big thing and the grandiose and all of this, but sometimes it's just, if we change one life, it's huge, But of course, I'm sure we're changing more than that, But if you can, it's a start, and then it goes from there, But anyway, what you were saying, Heather, it's kind of relates to that in my own little word. That's something I was thinking about this morning. It's and that's what happens in Jazz Week. I mean, you were not there on both of you, and Matt wasn't there, but we had a call with Bernard and Celia, and they adopted you as the granddaughter of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So that's huge. They're talking about you. How's Brooklyn doing? It's just like, that's this connection, and it just happens, and all the connections you were pointing out, Heather, it's like, they're meaningful. Sometimes you don't know when it's will outplay in a way, but it's there's more happening than just that, So you got to go. Matt, you want to say something quick? We can sign off. Anyone? I give it around one more time.
I think
If you want to say something.
I think what you're trying to say about the environment there is that it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
Like any teaching relationship. Students are learning from us, but of course we're learning from them, and there's shared knowledge throughout the whole group. But beyond that, I don't have too much to add, other than I've just replied to a message here from Leah. I hope we have a great turnout and a great sign up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all again. I do have to sign off. I have to make a call at 3, and it's 3. So
yeah, sounds great.
Nice to see you, Matt. Thanks for coming.
God bless everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you, Leah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Christian. Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Matt.
Hi, Leah. Nice to see you.
So anyway, quick, before you sign off, Sitka Jazz Week, you want to know, it's $7.50 for the week, includes breakfast and lunch. And go to sitkajazzweek.org or send us an email at sitkajazweek@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Be there.
All right. We'll see you this summer. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you, Leah.